welcome everybody to either Serpent Tarot, to another pick a card reading. Today's pick a card reading is sort of on the topic of your professional or vocational or creative success. So it's been a while since I've done a very express reading about that kind of thing, looking at your sort of like career, or as I say, vocation or creative sort of endeavors, and finances and all the sort of material things. But the inspiration for it came from the fact that I just recently got a new oracle deck from a shop called the Midnight Oracle Shop on Etsy. There is the various connections to show that in the description box below, and I'll be using another recent deck that I got, which is a yes no deck, a little bit later in the reading as well. But that particular shop has all sorts of things. This particular deck is about, it's called the Indigo Goddess deck, and it's about career and monetary and sort of vocational success. So that's what I wanted to base the reading on. It's very, very beautiful. It is a very strong sort of like combination of blues and yellows, I think, in the colouring, which to me is the communication skills and your sort of personal power, picking up the sort of like colours that you get with the chakras. So I think very nicely sort of balanced sort of thing in terms of telling your story and also gaining your power in life. So this is what we will be exploring. So we're going to have a look at up to 3 areas that are going to be really key for your navigating for your next success. Any energies you need to balance, any energies that you can leverage. We'll look at that with tarot as well. And then we will also, near the end, use another deck from the Midnight Oracle shop, which is called Split Decisions, which is a yes-no deck. So I'll ask you at that point to think about a couple of questions. They can either be related directly to this topic and what you've seen, or it could be something else. And we'll see what answers we get with that as well. So hopefully this will be a bit interactive and a bit of fun and really put you on the pathway to success. So I'm just putting down the numbers as I always do. So to help with the choice, I did ask Spirit for at least one of the cards coming from the Indigo Goddess deck that would, give a bit of a sense about what we're looking at for you to navigate to your next big success. So for pile number 1, we have Guardian, which talks about a fierce approach to finance. You're being daring, protecting your savings, protecting your treasures. The second pile has helping hand, giving and getting support. So this could be help that's coming to you. It could also be that charitable, humanitarian or philanthropic work is important to you. The third pile has partners, so attracting your money match, better together, maybe the kind of power couple energy, good collaboration, good connections, those sorts of things could be important. So that may help you choose. There could be any number of ways that you choose. But whatever draws you to a reading or readings, when you know what reading or reading you want to go to, the timestamps as always are in the description box below, and I'll see you there. Welcome pile 1 to your reading. So you came to the reading with the Guardian. So this, as I said, talked about a fierce approach to finance, daring moves, being the hero, but also protecting your savings and your treasures. So a little bit of both of the energies that you get with the sort of legend of a dragon. And it's interesting, that kind of the firepower associated with this, the astrology card that was meant to give us a little bit of a sense about the focus of all of this success and how you best get it, is around desire, around passion, around creativity, I would think. So I think that what might be happening here, given the 2 other cards, is this is about you bringing things into balance, bringing both the courage to move past fear, as it says, take the right mindset, take steps, stand out, do all of those sorts of things. This is the daring side with the passion, but also to be equally passionate about protecting what you're building. Here with the cutting edge, wielding your power, but this could be cutting expenses. It could be being sort of a bit more aggressive in what you do, but protecting what you do. So there's definitely a fiery energy of moving forward. All of these cards say that. But there is something here, I think, in making sure that you protect your energy as well. So if you were, for instance, looking at creating your own business and you're ready to now go out and do that and passionately do what you need, then certainly you're in a very strong position competitively. It's time to do that. It's time to move forward with confidence, but it's also make sure you don't overextend yourself or overexpend. There is protection as well. The highest order energy on balance for this is to go towards your passion, your dream and so forth. And to do it with courage and to do it aggressively, really, like really get out there. But there is just a little bit here as well about making sure that you don't overextend yourself, that you've got your you put the expenditure and all of those material things where they most need to be put, so that you aren't overextending yourself, because it's sort of like, it has the energy of like the early wands cards, like really getting going. But with the wands energy in the tarot, by the time you've been doing things for a while, it can get a bit tiring. So this is sort of like, get ready for a marathon, not just for a sprint, but view it as something very passionate. Just make sure that you have your resources well in play. But this is very much an exhortation, I think, from your spirit team to have the confidence to go forward. And as I say, to be a bit aggressive. If you are thinking about, should you go for that next job? Yes, go for that next job. If you're thinking of starting a business, yes, you're going to be competitive here. If you're thinking about, do I increase my property portfolio? Yes, do it. Make sure that you're protecting the assets you already have, but this is a growth period. You know, if you're looking in the stock market and you're thinking, is it time to be a bit more aggressive, then this will be saying for you, yes, that's the answer. But always make sure that you protect the assets that you already have. So using both of the energies here of this dragon. So let's get a little bit more information about the nature of your next success, how this could actually play out. And then we're going to look at how your skills and approach help, and then also what external factors you need to take into account. So the nature of your next success, which is clearly about following something that's passionate for you and with a lot of confidence and a lot of drive and a competitive edge. Seven of Wands reversed, that's interesting. King of Pentacles reversed. Three of Swords reversed. Nine of Pentacles. Ace of Cups. Okay. So the reason I say that's interesting, the Seven of Wands reversed is almost the opposite energy to what Spirit is saying you're ready for, because the Seven of Wands upright would be absolutely in accordance with this. It would be ready for the next challenge, ready to compete. So this is saying that you have a little bit of reticence. And the interesting thing with the King of Pentacles reversed, I think this is picking up, as I say, the how do you protect your current foundations while you move forward. Now, the interesting thing is it's saying at the moment you're tilting too much towards that. You're actually worried about the separation from that which you already have to go to the next step. So you're kind of tilting more towards, I'm protecting my treasures rather than moving forward. This is why we've got a very strong sense that it's really tilting in the other direction. But you have to, I mean, we have to work with your personality, with your situation and all that sort of thing. And there's actually nothing wrong with wanting to be a little bit conservative about that stuff. It's like getting it into balance. What Spirit is saying is that you have the wherewithal now. The thing now is to follow your dream and your what really lights up your heart and your desire and so forth. So because you could be more independent, this looks like you're quite dependent upon, it could be dependent upon a job, and it's, you know, like you could actually go and do your business, as I say. There's something where you've tilted towards the conservative side, but that's not going to take you any further. You kind of get a bit stuck there. So it is important to now say, how do I use what I have to go towards something new? So I think that your next success is something that has more autonomy, something that you feel you create yourself rather than relying on others or existing situations, and something that allows you to cautiously risk some of this, cautiously separate out from some of this. So this isn't saying throw everything out. It is saying protect your assets, but it is saying that if you just focus on the current thing, ultimately it's like a law of diminishing returns and you're not protecting your assets. So if you're not looking to build and grow, then eventually, like say you had a whole bunch of money in the bank, then eventually, even with interest rates or whatever, if interest rates don't keep up with, you know, cost of living increases, all that kind of thing, money starts to mean less and less and less. So this is how you actually use what you have already to move forward to create something new that will build for you. So this is all about courage. This is all about being a little bit more sort of competitive. So that's where you're going to get your next success. So what skills and approach can you bring to this to really bring this about for you? Nine of Cups reversed, Ten of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles, the Hermit reversed. So I think there is something in your own journey here, Pole One, where you start to understand that achieving a certain amount and then kind of like just holding on to that is what's holding you back from your success. there's something in that you can actually show to others or utilize in some way to make a new legacy for yourself. Like this is how you understand that. It's a couple of things. Like firstly, it's how you can see your own diminishing dream from what you've done in staying where you are needs to take you towards something that's dedicated, that is actually going to continue to build and that takes you more out of your comfort zone. So that's the first thing. Like the itch under the skin for this passionate thing is in fact part of the skill that you need to bring in, because it's the thing that revives your long-term commitment to something and allows you to come out and show that. But I also think there's something about this skill that you might be able to monetize in some way. So you may be able to mentor and coach people. You might be able to teach people a particular approach. You could potentially become much more visible, like a social influencer or something, and talk about this sort of thing, talk about how to have an entrepreneurial mindset, which I think is really what we're looking at here. So whether it's that you just take your own dissatisfaction now at just staying where you are to build the next big thing that you're dedicated to and to sort of really bring it out into the world, or whether there's something in your own journey here, your own realization that it sort of feels like you may have achieved quite a bit of success. And this is the thing, it's sort of like, am I risking it by doing something new? But there's a realization that just leaving it, just resting on your laurels risks it anyway. You need the new legacy to be going towards. You need the new thing to be dedicated to. And you really do have that capacity to do that. Once you have set your heart on something, you really go for it. And you're prepared to sort of come out and do something about it. But you've almost got to be bored or emotionally a little bit sort of like not stunted, but emotionally unfulfilled to make this happen. But when you do, that's when you shift out of this kind of almost calcified sort of feeling, and you get back your firepower, you get back your dream. This actually feels a lot like what can happen in the second stage of a career. So, I mean, it doesn't mean that you're all in the second stage of your career, but this looks like, often when we first start out in our career, we have all the firepower and all the get up and go, and we've got a lot of enthusiasm. And then we might reach a point where we think, okay, we've kind of got where we thought we were going to get. And then it's sort of like we get a sense that the next mountain is coming up, but we might be going like, well, I'm kind of okay where I am. But eventually you're going to feel like I can't keep doing the same thing over and over and over. It's not going to give me as good a return as it used to. I don't have that sense of momentum and passion anymore. How do I get that back? So there's something in you being able to get back that fire in the belly for the long haul that is going to really help you. So what external factors do you need to take into account? Like what's happening, other people or the industry or the financial services or whatever it is that's affecting this. What do you need to take into account? Two of Swords. Seven of Swords, King of Swords, wow, the Sun. All right, firstly, I think that there could be a real opportunity for you. For some of you, it's just taking this very, very literally. There could be someone who's going to make some sort of an offer to you around your life path to kind of revive this sort of sense of drama. And this person's very fair, but they negotiate hard. So you're going to have to make some pretty clear decisions around this. It could be you could be poached, say, and you're going to leave somewhere where you've gone well, but you kind of got a bit stuck. But this is a hard negotiator. I don't think sometimes the Seven of Swords is duplicity, but I think because it's next to the King of Swords upright, which is very fair, it's not that they are a duplicitous person. It's just that they negotiate hard. There's going to be someone who's going to negotiate hard with you about making a choice to follow this life path. So this feels like there's an offer or there's sort of someone like a mentor or a coach who's saying, no, get off your butt and do it. And the good thing about this, why I think it is good, is that this person, you can't hide and come up with ideas. You really do have to negotiate, and you really do have to kind of mentally engage in this. And this is what's going to get you back on path. So there's someone else or an offer that's coming in that, as I say, a legal offer or something like that, and you're going to have to make a decision about it. But it's triggering it. It's like it's a shift from one thing to another. And this may be part of what you're negotiating, how much you can salvage of the past to move forward into the future. But this person negotiates hard, so you have to be ready. You have to be thinking about that. This is why Spirit wants you to be largely thinking about having the courage to move forward, but also think about what it is that you want to preserve once you move forward. Okay, so let's have a look with the Heart Code Oracles at career and money energies, just in the 3D level around this. So firstly, around career, the energies in general that are coming up for you. Communication. So that's going to be, yes, that will be very important here. There's very much of the mind. There's a philosophy around this. Although Spirit wants you to think about what you would love to do, you've really got to think about how you communicate that, how you get that message out there. And bridge. Okay, this is what this is offering. This is going to offer you, there's going to be an opportunity to offer you the next step in your career, the bridge between what you have been accomplished with and accustomed to what is new. That communication around that is going to be essential to bring that in too. There's a lot of networking, I think, associated with this. So one card also for the financial impact of this for you. Impulsive, okay. This is why communication is important. This is why really picking up what the negotiation and being ready for this is important, because a lot of this fiery energy could make you just go before you really knew. And if that's the case, you won't come out of this with as much as you could. You'll give up more than you wanted to give up. So this is definitely saying don't make impulsive financial things. Make sure that you understand that everything is a step-by-step approach and that you have conserved and protected what you want. This is like, if it hasn't already happened, know that something is coming through to give you the next step, the next success. But when it comes through, you're going to have to really think about what you sacrifice or leave behind and what you take forward and how you negotiate that. That will stop you from being impulsive so that you use the right communication to use this as the bridge towards something that you would want. So let's also get you some spiritual guidance. So we're going to get from the Modern Goddess deck, because we had the Indigo Goddess there, a couple of goddess energies, just to give you some ideas about approaches or supports that are around you. Amaterasu, that's interesting, and Fortuna. So definitely good fortune's coming in. This is a good thing, and you are going to sort of like make money, do well, and all that sort of thing. But it's interesting that Amaterasu is the other side of this, because she was a goddess that was very much of the sun, but she had sort of hidden herself away. So she needed to be coaxed out to be seen again. So I think this is really talking about how you start to bring your light back out into the world. I think, as I say, I think that you've done really well and you've got a bit stuck. Someone's going to see this. Someone's going to call you out to do more. And it's a very fortunate thing to do. But as I say, they probably want you to shift much more than you're ready to shift. And so it's like, what is going to be the negotiation? Because fortune is shining on you, but you also need to make sure this reflects your life path. Otherwise, you might end up living into somebody else's. So that's the one thing to be aware of as you have this courage to come out and do so much more. Okay, let's get you some astrology as well to help you. Fourth house. Okay, the impact on your home life is important. Maybe that's what you're protecting. Maybe this is an opportunity, but it's going to take you away from home a lot. Or who are you at your core? What is really being called out? And how do you make that fortune work for you for what your heart is saying, as opposed to maybe what this person who sees your skills and talents wants? So it's either what's the impact on your home life, or it might be like, who are you at your core that you really have to think about? We have water. There's a lot of emotional response to this. That's the Ace of Cups. Fiery energy, but still, what matters to your heart? You do need to make sure that that is protected in all of this. And Cardinal, you initiate. I do think someone's going to offer you something, or you initiate something and somebody really starts to then connect with you and want to sort of take you to the next level. But there is something about you need to still be in the driver's seat here. Very, very important that you do that, because I think there's something about you got to a particular level of success, and that maybe you're just starting your career and it might have been you've done your study, you've finished that, or you're ready to leave the home or whatever. But there's other guidance energy that could be good, people negotiating with you, but they have very set ideas, and there is something that there's precious that you need to protect as you move forward into doing something new. So you need to feel that this reflects you, and that you're steering the car. And how does it feel? That's going to be your barometer. Okay, so Let's get to these yes/no questions. So as I say, this could be about this. If you know kind of what this is, or you have a sense this is coming in, then you may want to ask a couple of yes/no questions just about aspects of this. But you don't have to ask about that. If you want to ask about something else, I'm going to primarily look at this around navigating to success, but success can mean different things. And so if you want to ask about a love relationship or whatever, that's fine. Like whatever works for you. So I'm just going to shuffle, and you'll see that it'll be yes or no will be the upright thing when we put it down, and that will tell you what the answer is. So if you can be thinking about your first question now, and if you don't have the questions, just pause each time and then flip it back on again. So the answer to your first question is yes. You get a lucky break. It's a successful venture. Now, if this is about this, it's just another big tick, but it could be about something else. That luck is coming in. Fortune is coming in for you. This very good period of time in general for you. Okay, if you can think about your second question. And the answer is yes, again. Budding star, first blush, bursting out onto the scene. Okay, so this could all be about this and saying, yes, you're going to be able to do this. Your passion, what you want to do, your vision is going to happen, and luck is on your side. And you're going to be seen and you're going to be recognised. So certainly those two yeses would fit with this energy, because there's a big yes energy here. It's just a little bit of conservation to make sure you don't lose some things that were precious in the meantime. But this could be about anything. And if this is about like love, then wow, you're about to be seen, and spring is coming, the first blush of love. So it just depends upon what you want. But certainly there's a very big yes to both of your questions. Okay, to finish off pile one, I'm just going to draw a practical magic card just for the magic that you bring to navigating to this next big success. Have patience. Okay, I always laugh when I see patience, only because I'm really impatient. So I always feel for everybody when they see this. And this is something because you are really going to be bursting to run forward with this, all that fiery energy, all that sort of emotional energy. But this is, remember we were saying that it was the Knight of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles. This is for the long run. This is for the marathon, as I said right at the beginning. Be prepared for the marathon. Know what you need to conserve so that you have the energy. Know when you need to sort of move forward quickly. Have patience. Everything will come. Fortune is coming for you. All of this is going to happen, but it's not going to happen overnight. So I hope that resonates for you, pile one. I hope you enjoyed the reading. I think it's very, very positive for you. I hope it was helpful. If so, please like the video and subscribe. If you care to share in the comments, I'd love to hear. Otherwise, I hope to see you in future readings. Welcome, pile two, to your reading. So you came to the reading with helping hand. And as I say, this could be an energy around you having a helping hand, a sort of like a step up, a sponsor, a benefactor. It could also be you looking to charitable work, donations, all that kind of thing. I actually think it's much more likely to be the latter, only in as much as I think you're kind of already successful, or you already know how to be successful. If you don't, then I think you'll find a benefactor or a mentor or something like that. But there is sort of something here about great success that has to do with you understanding, I think, the laws of the universe. It's bringing in abundance. You're meant to have abundance. Now, and Jupiter is a very generous card. So I think, and why I say that I think you understand the laws of the universe, for a start, we've got answers, the keys to the kingdom. Certainly this would suggest, you could get, called to an interview, new work, like solutions are coming through for something if you're feeling blocked in any way. Then we have foresight, which is sort of like prophetic, seeing into the future, being able to plan. Early retirement, potentially, like you could do very, very well. All of that kind of thing, material gains, but it's through understanding and seeing things. And then we have the helping hand, the reaching out, financial aid. Makes me think actually of a friend of mine who, we talk about manifestation a lot, and the way he talks about it I think is pretty dead on. He says that he knows, it's almost like he has a sense of what is required, like it's sort of like he can expect that he can reach out and bring in the sort of things he wants. He can manifest the sort of things he wants. And some of the stories he's told me, he's very, very good at this. But he equally knows he does a particular profession where he meets a lot of different people all the time, that sometimes the clients coming in, he knows when they need support, emotional support, when they need to talk or whatever. And he says he knows that that's part of the bargain. If you're going to be, as he would say, in the club, you've got to do your bit. You've got to pay it forward. You've got to also be able to support other people. And it seems to make the flow work. And this is what I think you know. I think you have kind of got the same idea here. Your own generosity of spirit brings as a mirror others who are generous to you. Your sense and understanding of the trends coming up and the opportunities coming up means that you can manifest abundance. And there's something about the keys to the kingdom. It's like you've worked it out. That's what I think this is saying. So your next big success comes from the fact that you are a really lovely balance of sort of foresight and innovation and talent with what you do, but also that you help others, you pay it forward. So that flow within the universe of abundance and generosity is what's working for you. So that's lovely. So let's get a little bit more specific information with tarot about your next big success, how you navigate to that. Then we're going to have a look at your skills, and we're also going to look at the impact of the external world on this. There's certainly a very positive energy. And it's a deserved positive energy, like that. You guys really deserve success. So let's see a little bit more about what this success is. 10 of Wands, 9 of Wands, Queen of Swords reversed, 6 of Pentacles, Knight of Cups reversed. Okay. You deserve it because you've been putting in the hard yards. There's something you've been putting a lot of effort into. And sometimes you've wondered, is it going to work? Like you have this sense and you're right and abundance is coming. But I think every once in a while you critique yourself or you start thinking, am I going to be able to see this through? But the answer is yes, you are bringing in help. And it's because, as I say, you will provide help. This is a pay it forward type of thing. You are bringing in help. The help that's coming, though, is different to you. So this is something to realize. I think that you've been working very, very hard at something. You really have unlocked what you need to do. That's why you're bringing in a benefactor. You're bringing in the support that you need financially or career-wise or whatever it is. But they're very pragmatic. They're very much their business and it's all business, whereas you are much more naturally generous. I think eventually you will overtake this person, but at this point in time, you've brought it in because whether they know it or not, their support of you kind of connects them into a better karmic cycle. But they're not, this person is not emotional. But that's okay because you're really about putting the effort in. And if anything, you're your own biggest critic. That's the only thing that you need to, you're really hard on yourself for someone who's very, very generous actually, and who really does have the foresight. But I do think it's interesting with the foresight with the Queen of Swords reversed, because sometimes when someone sees the future, it can be a bit hard to see, and you can like be second guessing yourself all the time and kind of like you may often like literally know what's going to happen the next day, but unless you see that evidence, you doubt it. You think it's all coincidence or it's all luck. So you put more effort into something probably than it really, really needs because you're a little bit hard on yourself. But this is going to draw the attention of someone else, as I say, but they're not sort of, as kind as you, but there's a utility to this. So in a weird way, you help their karma without them even realizing, which is interesting. So let's see what your specific talents are that are going to bring this forward for you. 6 of Cups, 7 of Wands, the Tower reversed, the 4 of Pentacles reversed. Okay. You can see and know when change is necessary, and because of that, because you see it way ahead of other people, you can make it happen in a way that is not as tumultuous. So you have a skill set, as I say, you understand the workings of things in some way. You put yourself under more pressure than you need to, because you're a perfectionist to some degree. But on the other hand, you really do understand the systems that you're in, and you understand when change is necessary. And you can carry forward what mattered from something into the future and allow the change to protect what really mattered. So you could be in a workplace someone who is a change agent who not only helps the change, but is kind of there to take the organisation to the next step. I mean, when you talk about CEOs, you often have the CEO who comes in and causes the kerfuffle, and you have another one that comes in and balances it out. You can do both. You can do both because you really do know how, in a sense, to make the change around things without kind of having everything fall apart. So it becomes what do we take forward that's precious, and how do we change on an incremental level to make that happen? And this is going to be seen. Your capacity to do this. You have a lot of stamina, like a lot of stamina. And that's what's going to appeal to this person who's a business person who wants, I think, some form of change or something. They want that, and they want your capacity to take that forward and the courage that you have. They don't fully understand why you have it. You have it because you can sort of see that this is all serving a higher purpose. And you're really dedicated to that. As I say, they're going to be the beneficiaries of the karma that you bring that is very good. So you're doing them a favour that they don't even realise. Let's see what other external factors. So it might be a bit more about this benefactor, but it could be other things. What external factors are playing out in this next success for you? Four of Wands reversed. Queen of Pentacles reversed. The Devil. Ace of Pentacles. Okay. There's a lot of other people that are having issues with change and so forth. A lot of power stuff associated with this as well too. As I say, this feels like the natural change agent. You're going to find people who feel not part of the team, a bit lost. It may, like this looks like a classic change program. You come in, you do something, and then you're going to get some sort of team pushback. You're going to get people who leave before things are finished. You've got the stamina to see it through, but not everybody does. There's going to be the powers. You have to deal with the powers of the organisation, and the fact that the powers don't even have the full vision. This is one of the things you're going to bring, a vision for what it could be going forward. And I think this person who wants you to come knows that in a way. So that's a very good business decision for them to get someone like you associated with it. Now, if this isn't like a change program in a workplace, if this is something that you're doing in your own business, for instance, then you're going to be able to make the shifts that you need. But the industry that you're in perhaps doesn't even understand the new thing you're bringing in at first. And you may find the loyalty of people around that may shift. But you're going to be fine because you really do know what you're doing. But there's just going to be a bit of a pushback from external factors that's operating as you bring this through. But you, if anyone, is ready for it. It's the only thing that you need to be is a little less hard on yourself, because really you are way ahead of the pack in this and you come from a very good place. Okay, so let's see with the Heart Code Oracle some career and also finance energy that's around you at the moment. Because I do think most of this sort of reading is around your vocation, your career, your life path, those sorts of things. So career energies. Disapproval. Okay. So some people are going to push back on what you're doing. And look, it might be you to some degree as well too. You might not approve of everything that's going on. You have very high standards of yourself and high standards of others. So it could go either way. But that's it. There's some sort of adjustment sort of thing to be dealing with people. But like back yourself, because you're coming from the right place with this. And strengths, yeah, because your strengths are exactly what's needed for this at this point in time. You really do know what's coming in a way that others don't. But as I say, you may not approve of everything as well too. You may not approve of the kind of more business, less heart-centered thing around the person who's kind of being your sponsor in a way. You may not approve of the sort of powers that be and how they kind of block some of the new growth and they're not committed or they don't get commitment from their team. There could be anything like that going on. Let's see the financial energy. There's one card for that. Reward, yeah, but you'll get a reward for it. You will, because you're very good at what you do. So it may be your strengths will bring you a reward. There may be a bit of pushback, but like somebody wants to sponsor you, you are going to do well out of this financially. Okay, so let's get you some sort of spiritual energy. What I want to do is take a couple of cards from the Modern Goddess deck to be energies that you can utilize, sort of like representations, goddess type energies that you can utilize to bring about the best success. We have Uzumi. And we have Ma'at. Okay. So these are kind of a balanced energy, I think, for you to get through this. I think Uzumi is here to deal with your inner critic because she's bringing joy. So she wants you to enjoy this. This is like what you're doing is beautiful. What you're going to change and bring in is good. You're going to take people with you. You are absolutely in alignment with your karma and with the universe and with your heart. So enjoy. Like don't trust in that and enjoy. And then Ma'at, I think, is saying that you will be very fair. That energy, you are fair. There's something in this environment or the change probably that isn't, but you are fair because you can see the consequences of things and you come from this sort of pay it forward type of energy. So while you're having joy, you're also having this good balanced intellect. So I feel like Ma'at at her best is the Queen of Swords upright. I think Uzumi in you actually turns that Queen of Swords upright. So that very sharp intellect and that foresight that you have, you start to use in a balanced, joyful way rather than kind of making it all, you've got to carry everything, and you're kind of always disapproving even what you're doing yourself. So this is how to bring that energy into more joy and more balance, because what you're doing is blessed. You're coming from a very, very good place. Okay, let's get you a little bit of astrology support as well. Water. So emotional issues are important, clearing out emotional issues. I'm actually even getting, because I think you work really, really hard, have an Epsom salts bath every once in a while. Just kind of clear out your energy, go to a spa. We've got the 10th house. A lot of this is around career success, and that you will be seen and known and you will be successful. And fire. Water and fire, so your passion as well, the energy that you have. I think this is actually saying, again, how you balance. This is showing you how you balance your inner critic. This is showing you how you balance the energy levels that you do by also, getting back into your heart and being able to relax. And as I say, go to a spa, do that kind of thing. You deserve to be able to indulge yourself a bit, pole 2. So now we're at the point where we can ask some yes, no questions. So we're going to ask 2. And this deck has, depending upon what comes up, whatever is upright, it will be yes or no. You can ask questions related to this. If you know what it is and you specifically want to ask a couple of questions, you can ask about anything you want. It doesn't even have to be about career, vocation, success. But if you need to, pause the video while I'm shuffling, but I'm going to shuffle and then I'm going to put down the answer to question 1, and then I'll shuffle again and put down the answer to question 2. So I'm shuffling now for the answer to your question 1, which is no, like oil and water, separate lives drift apart. Okay. Now, if this was related to this, it could be saying that this benefactor is not a long-term person because you are so different and you'll eventually separate. It could be around other people associated with this, or this could be showing something completely different. You could be asking about a relationship, whether it's a work one, love one, or whatever. There's something where there is a movement away because it's too different. Okay. Then let's look at your second question. So I'm shuffling now for the second question, and the answer to the second question is yes. Brilliant idea, clear path, bright future ahead. So something that you're thinking about here, or someone, whatever it is, perfect, on point. This is really picking up your power of foresight. You're getting a download for that. So there's something that needs to be separated from, but there's something that's brilliant and can move forward. And if these things are related, it may be that you can have an inspiration to take what was good from this and let go of that which is not working. Okay, so to finish off, I'm just going to draw you a practical magic card to sort of see your magic that you bring to really manifesting this success, pile 2. Embody forgiveness, crown of star and thorns. I think because there's going to be some pushback, I think sometimes you've carried more than your fair share, all of these sort of things. If you can forgive that and let that go, you stay in this beautiful karmic sort of thing that brings in the abundance, but there will be some pushback, there will be some critique. There'll be probably some that's even put critique into your own head, all of that sort of stuff. Forgive yourself, forgive others. Keep that energy operating in this humanitarian way because you really have understood the keys of the kingdom. You are really getting downloads, but don't close that energy off. Don't close that heart off just because maybe you're in a fairly heartless environment for a while, or that's what you're trying to shift. So I hope that resonates for you, pile 2. I hope you enjoyed the reading. If so, please like the video and subscribe. If you care to share in the comments, I'd love to hear. Otherwise, I hope to see you in future readings. Welcome, pile 3, to your reading. So you came to the reading with partners. As I said, I think that could be showing sort of like a soul partnership, a power couple, something like that. It talks about attracting your money match, doing something where you're better together, bringing things into balance, doubling your sort of financial outcomes, all of that sort of thing. And this seems to be because it's a very nourishing thing for your soul. We've got the moon, the soul, emotional connections. This would suggest that you are someone who creates more, has more success, all of those things when your soul is nourished by the connection with another. So this doesn't have to be a love relationship, but it could be, but it can be partnerships at work, teamwork, all of those sort of things. There's something there that is part of your food stuff, really, and that brings in opportunities. So we have opening, bloom where you're planted, use your gifts, nurturing, spirit work, plan unfolding. I think this is saying that you're being brought into the environment of people that could be your money or soul match. and that this is meant to bloom for you and meant to nourish you. So it says feed your heart and mind, the best job for you, feeling satisfied, feeling that things are full. This tells me that although I actually think that a partnership with the right soul connection here could make you very wealthy, because this is definitely talking about money and growth and opportunities, I think it's almost as a secondary thing, because I think it's saying for you, your soul needs to be nourished in what you do. For you to navigate to your best success, you need to feel that you're with the right people doing the right thing that is spiritually aligned to you. So let's get a little bit of information from Spirit, from Tarot, about what they think that the next big success, what is the nature of the next big success? Taking into account that it's obviously with others, it's a connection to your soul, and it's something that gives opportunities for you to bloom, but also to nourish yourself. So this is not the layout of someone who's in some big corporate role in a sort of like cutthroat environment. Or if you are, then you'll find the right people so that you can actually bring spirit to it. But for most, this is sort of something where it's much more about the soul and the spirit path leading you to the right things that then manifests as a result of that. But let's see what Tarot has to say. The Tower, the Devil reversed, wow, the Ten of Pentacles, the Seven of Swords, the Nine of Pentacles. Okay, all right. I think that what this is saying is that there's almost a two-step thing going on here, which is to fully find your people, your connections, your love, your money match, whatever it might be, your family really. You may have to separate from old things. It looks as though you've actually had a bit of an epiphany. In fact, when I was just sort of saying, oh, this isn't really the template of someone in some sort of cutthroat competitive corporate world, maybe you have been. And this is, you now know you need to liberate yourself from it. It is no longer going to nourish you. It could also be with the Tower. There's been a big change. It says, bloom where you're planted. You might have been in an organisation or around an industry that's gone through a lot of change, a downturn or something. And if you see this as a liberation to find where you truly belong, you can bloom just like these trees bloom, even with money blooming, and something that is going to be very good financially and a long-term situation. But to get there, it looks like you're negotiating your independence within this. So there's an interesting balance that Spirit's talking about here. It is saying that finding the right people, the right connection, the right money match, the right organisation, probably the right boss, whatever this is that connects to your soul, allows you to bloom out of whatever this change has been. But you also need to make sure you're nourished, that you are not so symbiotically connected to this that you don't have independence. So this is what Spirit wants you to know, that the right match for you is not one who subsumes you or overtakes you or owns you. It's someone who meets you level for level, and you are independently there because you want to be, and they're independently there. So what this looks like, and it may be, if this is like a power couple or that kind of energy, that there is some sorting out between you that's going to be necessary around what is the long-term vision, how do you make sure you share that, and how you both bring individual contributions in. This is very much like the Gestalt effect, where the sum is greater than, when the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. So you're each bringing something, and that's what's unique and necessary, and then together it's more. But there has to be a kind of a good understanding of that, about what each is contributing. So whether this is in, as I say, a power couple, a love match, or whether it's in how you settle in and grow and nourish yourself within a work environment, there's a bit of negotiation to occur here. Because I feel like you're trying to move from a rat race into something that's more spiritually nourishing. And it's like there's something from the rat race that you could have used and learnt to negotiate what you want here. So let's see what skills in particular and approach will help you, what your skills are and the approach that will help you. Four of Cups reversed, Knight of Pentacles, the Lovers. Oh, there's definitely a sense with many of you that this is about a key relationship. Five of Wands. Okay. So I do think for many of you, right there, the clue's been there. This is like a power couple. This is like a business couple that come together. This is about finding your soul twin. Many of you, this is intricately connected with this. If it's not literally a lover, then this is a very good relationship. This is a very key thing, one that both are mutually committed to, and you are able to commit to that. And one of the reasons is that you also know what the opposite feeling is. This is what I say. I think you've been in work environments or, study environments, depending upon, your age and where you're up to, where the whole competitive thing just felt nasty. And you knew it wasn't sustainable. You want to find something that's sustainable where you do bring your individual contribution, but where you're also in collaboration. That's where you know that you can dedicate yourself and you know that you can find the right people, because you kind of know the signs of the wrong people and the wrong environments. So you've got a very good navigation to find this person or these people, depending upon whatever it is. So how does the external world impact at the moment on you in terms of you navigating to your success? Pile 3. Six of Pentacles reversed, Page of Cups, the Fool reversed, the Queen of Wands reversed. Okay, all right. I do think this is, for most of you, saying there's a love relationship, or at the very least a very, very powerful business, positive, powerful business relationship coming in. And this is being shown here. The person concerned, interestingly enough, has also had the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, to quote the bard, just like you have. They are similarly wise to this. So you each recognize in each other the value that you bring, the difference that you bring. So you're equals, like an equal is coming in. And like that person could be anywhere within an organization or whatever. It's not really about hierarchy. This is an equal, and there is a huge heart connection here. So there is something very special. If you haven't already met this person you're going to, this is coming in soon. If you have, then know that this is meant to bloom for you. This is meant to be mutually nourishing. And this person has suffered similar things to you around dealing with negative competition. So you're really well primed to value what you each bring kind of in an equal way. It's really lovely. Let's have a look, therefore, at some 3D sort of stuff around this, the career and finance energies that are around you, given this. So a couple of energies around career first. Purpose. Yeah, purpose is the important thing. What does your soul want? This person's very purpose-oriented too, but I think you both come from environments or situations where it's all been about competition and conflict. The other career energy or vocational energy for you. Disapproval. Okay. I think this is you disapproving of what you have been in, and I think they disapprove as well too. I actually think that's disapproval working in a good way. Now, it is possible that both of you might have been disapproved of in the environment if you weren't this sort of really cutthroat competition, but I think you equally disapproved, and you know that your purpose is what you need to focus on. So I think it was a good process if that was the case. Financially, the energy around this, direction. Yeah, this is giving you direction. Soul purpose, connection, direction. It's like you both sort of come together and you go, wow, we both feel the same about what was wrong. We both feel the same about what direction needs to go. And this is why it's going to do very well for you, career and financially. Okay. What I also wanted to get you was some spiritual support. So I thought I'd use the Modern Goddess deck and use this as sort of some energies for you to manifest. The goddess is what they represent for you to have your next big success. The Maiden. Okay. And Kipitaki. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I think what we're seeing here is the balance of energies that both of you are going to bring to this, because the Maiden is that preparedness to do something new, to trust and to move forward and let things, with a kind of almost innocence, a bit like the Fool, but like the other person here is wiser than being a fool, and I think so are you. But there is still an open-heartedness. Kipitaki is the crone in a particular in sort of Native American sort of folklore. So there's sort of like the innocence and then the wisdom, and that's what you need to balance, because Kipitaki says be careful and make sure that you're clear and that things are what they appear to be, because sometimes they're not. I think this is picking up the wisdom that you've got from both of you have got from being in environments where things were not of the heart, but this is the wisdom that helps you protect this innocence and going forward, and helps you, I think, also understand what is special about your connection. Like, I don't think this is saying that the connection isn't that, but I think you've both suffered from competition and other sorts of issues, things that were much harsher. So you do have that wisdom so that together you can go forward and navigate towards a good outcome. Okay, let's get you some astrology support as well. Yeah, the 5th house. Yeah, I think there's romance or at least creative partnership associated with this, definitely. The 4th house and who you are at home, and I think you'll find a home in each other. It's really nice if this is a love relationship as well as a sort of career one. It bodes extremely well. And Saturn, yeah, something that is for the long haul, something that is a commitment, something that's very karmic too. It's a very karmic connection to this. Maybe that what you do builds over time too. Saturn can take a little bit of time. Okay, so now we've got to the point I said in the introduction that you're going to get a couple of yes, no's. So that's where we're at now. So I'm just going to shuffle and I'm going to ask you to pause if you don't know what your questions are and think of each one by one. These can be questions related to this, or they can be something completely different. You can ask about whatever you want. So I'm just going to shuffle and then lay up your answer to question 1 and then shuffle and lay out the answer to question 2. So I'm shuffling now for question 1. So the answer to question 1 is no. Burnout, not caring, your drive dies quickly. Okay, there's something. Now, whether it's connected to this and whether it's sort of like dealing with some of the past, or even if there are particular things right now in your environment that kind of make you feel like the past, if this is what this is about, then it would be a burnout to keep going on that. You need to be finding what nourishes you. If it's not connected to that, then there's something here where you won't sustain what this thing is. Okay, so for for question 2, pile 3, think about your second question, pile 3. So the answer to that question is yes. Glowing results, clarity, seeing the whole picture. So if this is a kind of no answer, this is a yes. And if they're part of the same thing, it may be that there's an approach that if you took it full on, it's not going to work, but there is still a way to resolve it. So it depends on what you're asking about. But the very, very strong yes, you're going to get great results, great clarity. You're going to see the whole picture associated with this one. Okay. To finish off, I'm just going to draw you a card from the Practical Magic deck for the magic that you bring to bringing about your success, pile 3. Outer Wisdom, Merlin's Temple. Okay, so this is probably picking up that kind of crone energy, the wisdom that you've brought in, the wisdom. There's been something for you and this person that you've both gone through, and I think it's similar, and it has been the getting of wisdom. And you're now bringing that out into the world together, I think. So there's a sort of sense here of being able to portray that wisdom. You're going to have that opportunity to show that and to use that. And I think it's really interesting that it's all very green, which is heart chakra. So there's love associated with this, definitely. Whether it is romantic love or just love of a great sort of work or vocational partner, it'll depend on who's coming to this. But this is time for you to bring out all your learnings and do something that's close to your soul and close to someone else. So I hope that resonates for you, pile 3. I hope you enjoyed the reading. If so, please like the video and subscribe. If you care to share in the comments, I'd love to hear. Otherwise, I hope to see you in future readings.